What's going on, everybody? So, a little mini lesson to start here. We are on vacation, so the travel setup might look a little interesting here, but I want to get this out because we didn't have time last weekend. And we are going to talk about 15 minutes and the futures of the last few days and the force up that happened because we had a lot of good lessons here peeking around. So, not Friday, but obviously Thursday and the week's high, we have this beautiful little 15. Okay. This turnaround right here, as we love to fib out everything, was the start of the roll that we have been watching. Okay. And coming into that Friday, we had a complete recycle here. And I want to explain a couple things that are going to be in the course. This is going to be a little bit of an intra course. I'm going to explain inside this 15-minute in the course and a couple other reasons. But I want to give you a little hint on what makes this so special. And I did a little bit on the last YouTube video here, so check that as well. So this 15-minute high from Thursday had a complete washout. Okay, so on the green fibs, we have our high low developed right here. Comes down to the 1618, but never returns to the 100 fib. So in standard Fibonacci, after hitting that 1618, for my systems, I always look for it to return to the 100 for a good chance to continue and then play counter trend. Okay, pay attention. Counter trend can happen when we have a complete cycle, right, of the 161800, and then goes down to the 2, 3, and then back to the GP. That right there is one of the best cycles that we look for. That's a standard cycle. Unstandard or unplanned or oblong cycles, or whatever you want to call them, they're rare, are like this one here, where it comes outside of that 15 box, hits the 1618, never returns to the 100. Of course, it would never return to the GP, continues under the 1618, washes. Look at that 2618 wash completely through, right? We had a little pickup on this 15-minute, but the retrace never came back. We went 2618 to 1618 and down. That is extreme weakness. So right here in the morning for the open, right to 9 a.m. Central for me, it was explaining that it had extreme weakness because we couldn't even get back up to the 100 after bouncing the 2618. So we bounced 2618 here on that 15, pushed back up to the 1618, and then just decimated it all. This ended up doing a complete recycle to my last extension I even use in Fibonacci for certain reasons is the 666%, 635361. Now, I'm going to explain something called getting back in the zone here, all right? And when there's a Fibonacci zone like this, and we break out of that zone, right, and then it comes back in at the end of the day, the retrace capability of this 15 is so strong because of what we just explained here, okay? The no tag of the 100, the no bounce of the 3618, not even a follow through back of the 423. This sucker washed the entire way from fib creation to the 666 without getting back to the 100. That is extremely rare and unique. So as we came into Friday's action, okay? So let's explain. We're going to box this out right here. So we have it. And these were our final long targets because of that 15 and what happened inside the 15, which I'll get into in the course and some other stuff for the cancer course. So as we come into Friday, we had a couple different interesting things. Now, if you watched the last YouTube video, I explained a couple different things about these 15s down here where they had some really good opportunity to play out. And a lot of the times you'll hear me, if you look at the Fibonacci masterclass, they'll be like, yeah, but Brandon, you say hit those candles that have tons of moving average hits on them. They have all the extra data. And that is correct. So this candle right here is actually very, very, very strong as well. And it actually replicated the Thursday high candle we just talked about very similarly. So take a wild guess at what's going to happen after the cycle. So if you take this 15 down here, right? Now remember, this is the end of Thursday. That's the pick back up before close. Comes in, open. So if we have a fib high low, we look for the 1618 and we look to return to the 100 before it continues. Let's zoom in. Is that a 100 tag? Absolutely not. 6368.50 did the same thing the high of Thursday candle did, which is rare. It back to backed another 15, throwing this up. So what did we just talk about here? The likelihood of having a full cycle, right, all the way down and then popping without any backtest is what's going to happen. Just invert the chart. What happened here? Same thing. Straight up, no 100 tag. After the no 100 tag, smashing up to that 423 high percentile chance. Now, I seen this and I was all for the long, and I was gunning for the long. I only wanted a pullback to get in long, right? And that's the one thing we never actually got. So if you watched that last YouTube video, I was looking at this guy, this 15-minute, touching in the 200 SMA, lower VWAP, and others. as we come in here. And I said, okay, this one I'm going to play off of, and I'm going to match it up with that lower. And I'm going to play this to the downside and then long again once it hits the 100, right? So we have this 15 that hits a 200, full cycle again to the 423, launches itself down, hits the 1618, no 100 tag, third one, which is pretty rare, blast up, okay? All the way past the 666 into the moon. And that's why I said that last YouTube video was a huge force up. That's fine. That's what they're very common because it opened up right here on that recycle. So at the live open, we could have went down. So I was only looking for the downside to come back up. And then we said it's over under, right? So if we did see that big burst up, it's no big deal. And we got caught in that trade because of hotel Wi-Fi, right? And we're going to come to SPY real quick, and we're going to see this algo in the pre as well as other jam here. And this was that whole trade plan. So because of the 215s I just showed you on futures, this algo was created right at the end of pre-market. And then you see this dude right here, right? I get this thing to auto arrange so I can show you the thing. There we go. Travel mouses are hard. There we go. So the 215s we just showed you on ES to that downside, we had an opportunity to come back test to go long. And that's all I wanted. I wanted to see this algo's GP, right? Dip for the strength because we had 215s and the prior 15 in the green from Thursday's highs all saying, yeah, we have a pretty good potential to come down, but then most likely we're going to head back up. And we explained in the last YouTube video recap on why that was. Now, if you check that out here on that algo, we had extreme strength, and again, we caught other things that were faster than the fib, which means when you fib out this guy right here, she comes up to that 1618, completely disrespected, just blows right through it, and it starts utilizing yesterday's levels, right? That's yesterday's open in the yellow, yesterday's highs right here in the orange. Comes back down and does another shy of the 5-minute 100 EMA. We actually didn't get a tag. We do have it at the open, but it came down and just ran away from that, right? And if you take that algo, extend it to the right, and again, watch my YouTube video. I said this would be the top of the day right here, coming in with another channel, and we said after hours on Qs. Well, we weren't doing SPY, but the last candle on Qs did hit our target of the 261 extensions from the algo over there as well. But back to SPY. So this guy right here was a huge precursor for those dips on the 15 to hit the GP. And I just wanted to go long to our final big target, because if you guys remember, we did talk about ES having a really far away target. Am I in the right chart? I am. We're going to go back to the 5-day 15. I'm going to stretch it out and say, all right, 6-4, 6-6, and a penny, right? This magical, oh, you guessed it, there's even a no-tag GP on it, has a open gap at 6466, and that's why we're most likely going to be returning back up to there to that volume imbalance. If you're looking at your 15-minute charts, you're going to notice fair value gaps pointed to the downside that never came down. Very strong controlled sell there all the way to the rally week we've had off that top. But we still have more to go to the 6466. But how do we get there? Well, we have a couple different reasonings here to continue. Now, if we get news and everything else, the next big push up, most likely going to be psychological catalyst in the next few days. August should keep pressing up to that 64, 66. We'll see what the news does. We'll see if it's going to be something based on Trump tweets, which it generally is because we don't have anything else to help us when the Trumpster's on the old tweets, right? Pretty crazy. So all said and done, those 15-minute runaways were extremely important for this ES trade. And we did have a couple different things on SPY that had that momentum push to the upside. So let's do a little bit of prediction video, and I want to give away a couple accounts here to people that always support the channel. And we're on vacation, so I can't really do this live because we had the debacle already on Wi-Fi, so we're going to do this one recorded. So where's the predictions and how do we handle the next week? I want to give you guys a little insight on the setups and what I would look for. Well, first is always first, right? We'll start with ES this time and we won't do SPY. So a lot of you guys are looking for this. We have a breakout day. Now, I'm very big on dojis, and I teach dojis a lot in some of my older classes from multiple years ago. Then we mixed it with the fibs. I'm very, very, very big on watching the pinned body of dojis becoming over unders. So it's a very good support channel to have opening the next day. So if you would have seen that prior doji, and again, our custom scripts kind of gives you that body right here. You can see the open and close right there in the dash lines, high, low, right? And so if that open right here ended up holding that doji, right? A little break of structure, a little high or low, and that continuation push. That doji was actually a really big piece to the pie, right? To figure that out. So to continue that prediction on the daily, anything above that doji, we have a chance to attack what? Oh, the 1 minute gap. Oh, how do we get there? Well, let's talk about it. We have a couple different instances here where I like to use fibs and go over this. Now, dojis are extremely important candles. Even though some of you guys like to fib these out, we're going to be a little over that, which again is fine. And I know a lot of you guys wanted to fib that one out. They're asking in chat and even messages. That's okay. But we're always going to use the ones that don't have tags yet. That's going to be Friday's candle. That's going to get us a little closer to under that gap side. And that's going to get us a safer trade because I'm usually in early, out early. And those are the metrics I like to see. Because if this was an in early, out early, I would be in breaking the 64.25 on trend here on the top of that 100. And I would be out before it even gets to the 17618 or gap, resulting in my high profitability trading. 35 points, that's not bad on ES for that momentum up. One catalyst I'm going to watch for, and this is the prediction, is going to be this high candle, pretty obviously all-time high. So if you crank back right there, we have one level that's going to be stopping us from returning to those all-time highs. And you guessed it, that's the all-time high open. There's nothing else really, because if we were going to use the prior all-time high, those GPs are already hit. If you were to draw a fib right here, all that's cooked right there. These hit that and went down. This was the sweep. This was the prior all-time high. GP fail, fake out, GP fail, fake out, sweep. Goodbye. So we know that the open right here is going to be a very viable level. So once we mark that off, we're going to put this out pink so we can just find it. Head into the intraday. And then we're going to mix our daily, which is always gold on this channel here, with a couple different things. We have a triple 5-minute ender right here. Okay, so we had that long call at the end of the day and she forced up pretty nice. We have 3 golden pocket no tag 5s. And we'll leave that one on there, and I'll show you guys where that comes in here. Interesting, huh? Okay. I know you guys are following this real close. So we fib out those no tag GPs a lot, and we look for confluence points. Now, how many confluences have we just created? The triple 5-minute in the orange, the 1618 with the daily, and the magnet gap, which means right here is our section long anything above 6400, which just happens to be Friday's GP. So this is exactly what I will look for on the Fibonacci continuation plays from a couple different specs of interest here, because we can come down to the 5-minute GP, right? So if we have an opportunity to see a little bit of the upside, hits into the 1618, and oh, there's that open. That's that pink we did, the all-time high open. And let's see we fail back down. The best case scenario is to relax a little bit into 2 different supports. One right here being that 5-minute triple GP, the other being close to the GP here on Friday's daily in gold, and both resulting in the continuation to the upside, right? So if we have the opportunity to move either one of those supports, that GP 5-minute or the GP in the gold daily, right? Those are the only 2 markers I'll be worried about Monday, Tuesday coming in. We'll see what the data brings. We'll see what everything else brings. We're getting some big rainstorms hitting the windows here. Holy moly. Sorry if you guys can hear that. Florida's crazy right now. And that is it. So those are the final predictions. So I will see you guys anything above 64, 60 points up, but we got to get that momentum. Most likely the options sell out. For me, I like to do a lot of put sells. So I'll be at that 6,400 level this week, watching for dips towards it, selling those put credit spreads like I like to do on the ES, and I'll probably be marking some 6,400s. My momentum in day traders, you guys please focus on anything above that golden GP mixed with this little 5-minute here, and then I will see you guys up at 64.66 to 64.60, hopefully next week. Now, we're going to get into some giveaways real quick, right? So all right, is the right one? It is. All right. So just because you guys are kind enough to comment on our YouTube videos, we love to give away some cash money. I'm going to do 2 giveaways because we didn't get to do last week's. And let's get to her here. I'm going to go to my channel. I'm going to pick a random video. And I think what I'm going to pick here is, we had the one, I don't have very many views on it, 4 days back. Yeah, how I predicted the market for that was the start of the big short. So let's grab this video right here. We'll do 2. So I think this one only had 8 comments because a lot of people just aren't supporting the channel. So the small people that are supporting it, you got a 2 in 8 chance here, my boys. So I want to do a small one because of the guys that comment on all this stuff and that are helping out and being kind. Let's get it to you guys. So free cash giveaways here. We're going to put that in there as the link 1+1 to Let's Hope Still. How many YouTube comments? Like I said, I think it's 8, 7. I didn't even pick up the last one. And let's do that giveaway. So the first winner, Joffrey, Mr. Bonds. I think it might have been a prior winner before. Congrats. Hit me up. Please reach out on that X. You know the business. To grab a $50 cash money account or cash money account, cash money giveaway. So with that being said, we're going to do one more. It's getting really loud with that rain. It's crazy. Pick new winner. I'm going to do it again. Japper, you are number 1. Number 2 is Pipe Bullet 23. BB Boppities. All right, buddy. If you guys can reach out to me on X, please, you guys get that free cash money for absolutely no reason. PayPal, Venmo, hopefully US. Reach out. And that is it. Thank you guys for stopping in. If you want to trade live with us every single day, links in the description. Every market open that I can be here, we are totally here. If you want to support the channel, all you got to do is be subscribed, like the video, drop a comment, win free cash. It's literally that easy. We only had 7 comments to do. You had a 2 in 7 chance to win $50 for leaving a YouTube comment. Awesome. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Back to the vacation. Well, not so much with the rain, but I'll be back Monday morning. See you guys then.